guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to put out a day in the life video of my autistic son, which is going to be for Gavin. So if you guys are not familiar with our family, we do have 3 children. We have 2 boys and a girl. Our oldest, Gavin, who is 5, was diagnosed with autism right before turning 3. And then we have Logan, who is almost 4, pretty soon, within a couple weeks. And he just recently got diagnosed with autism as well. We have a little girl, Miss Melina May, who is 5 months, who has not been diagnosed with anything yet. So I did want to do a video about Gavin's day, just how he starts out his day, how he gets ready for school, how he does, you know, with therapy. We are actually in the middle of getting new therapists for ABA and speech, but he is still getting some OT therapy, so we're going to show a little bit of that, and just how his day ends, and like just what he does on, you know, usually most days that are like school days, and if he does have some therapy involved. It's also going to be my first voiceover video, guys, so I hope you guys like it. I hope it comes out okay. I hope it makes sense for you guys. If you guys like it, please let me know if something does not make sense, or if you guys see that I can do something a little bit better or change something, let me know as well. So if you guys are interested in watching my son's day, please continue watching, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get started. So it's about 5:45 this morning, and of course Gavin is awake and in the kitchen. He usually starts off with a cup of milk, and then he grabs my phone or the iPad, and then he's off to the couch. So now it's a little bit after 6, and bus picks Gavin up at about 6:45. So now I go in and finish getting his lunch ready, which I usually start the night before, but in the morning I add in like anything like the yogurt we keep in the freezer so it's frozen. So by the time that he gets to school, hopefully it's still a little bit firm and not too soft. And then I cut up his fruit. Gavin loves fruit, so I always make sure that he has enough fruit for the day. He always comes in the kitchen while I'm getting his lunch ready, and he tries to eat his lunch that I'm packing for him, like always, but then I offer him usually a cereal bar or some other type of fruit. So this morning we had blackberries, and he did end up taking the blackberries after fighting me for his lunch. And while I'm in the kitchen with Gavin, Melina was awake in my room, just kind of hanging out. So I check on her, make sure she's okay, she doesn't need anything, and then I go back and finish with Gavin. And now he's getting dressed, and I try to help him as much as I can without having to do everything for him. Some mornings where he really does not want to get out of bed, then I do a lot of getting him dressed. But for the most part, like if he's already been awake like he is this morning, then I try to make him do most of it. But if he has trouble, he does. Like if you heard him earlier, he said, "Help me," because he does have a little trouble sometimes getting the shirt over his head or finding the sleeves. And then I comb his hair, which it's usually just like a light spray of water and then a light comb. Some days I put gel, but not always. And he doesn't always like me to comb his hair, but he lets me. And then we put on his socks and shoes, which if we have time, like I do try to get him to help me at least try to put on the shoe. The socks are a little bit harder for him because they're a little tight. But if there's days that we don't have time, then I do it all. But I need to make more time because he needs to work on these skills. Like how to put on his socks and shoes is very important. Like I can't do this for him every day. So he knows what to do, but he just has, like, I don't think he has the strength in his hands really to do it right. And as you can see, sometimes he just kind of loses focus. So I have to turn him back and be like, hey, we're doing this. But he'll get there. I do think that if we continue to work on it, that he will be doing this on his own one day. And now that he's completely ready, he just kind of hangs out again, and I go and bring Melina to join us in the living room. And Logan too, he comes and joins us. So now we have probably about 10 minutes before the bus pulls up. So I get Gavin to put on his backpack, and we walk outside together. And most mornings I do try to get a picture of him before the bus picks him up, and he has been doing so good at looking at the camera or looking at me when I ask him to take a picture. However, this morning he was distracted with a truck that was parked outside of our neighbor's house because they're renovating, and there was like a lot of stuff going on. So I think that was upsetting him to the point to where he walked back to the door and was pretty much fighting to get on the bus, because once the bus pulled up, like he just sat there crying. So I had to pick him up and take him inside the bus, hold him down. Me and the bus driver had to like work together to get his seatbelt on. Eventually he sat down and we were able to head off to school. And here I am getting the baby carrier ready and the diaper bag, just in case we had to go pick Gavin up at school, because I did get a call from his teacher saying that he was still upset, and they made it sound like I was gonna have to go pick him up, but ended up not being the case. He did end up coming home on the bus himself and finished off his day at school pretty happy. His teacher said that after lunch his mood did change and he was happy and was feeling better and not as frustrated, so he did end up having a good day after all. And here he is coming home. First thing he does every day is puts his backpack in the closet, which he's having trouble here. Socks and shoes come off right away as well, and then he heads straight into the kitchen for something to drink and something to eat, because this boy is hungry all the time. And while he's in the kitchen looking for a snack, I grab his backpack again, and as you can see, there is a grocery bag attached to his backpack. He did have an accident at school, which doesn't happen often. We've noticed that if he does have a rough day, that sometimes he does not go to the bathroom when he needs to, so then he does have an accident. I did see that in his lunch bag he did not even open his sandwich or his cheese, so I did offer that to him, but he also found the blackberries in the fridge that he wanted to eat. Say, I want blackberries. Baby. Say, I want. You want, what do you want? Do you want these? Gavin? Gavin, do you want these? Yes? Gavin, do you want these? Yes, Mom? Yeah, I do. Okay, buddy, here. And I had forgotten to take out his communication tablet, which he does take to school, so I always take it out just to have handy, just in case he has a frustrating moment and can't communicate to us, he can use it. And then I sit with him and just try to see, you know, how his day went. He doesn't answer like good or bad or anything like that, but we always just try to make some type of conversation, and I'll bring the baby over and he gives her kisses and tells her that he loves her. I mean, I have to prompt him to say it, but he usually says it every time. Tell her, I love you. Love you. So here Gavin asked for some popcorn and wanted me to do it, but I've been trying to make him do it himself. So I help him put it in the microwave and set the timer, which he tries, he really does, but he needs a little help with that. And if Gavin could, he would eat the whole bag of popcorn by himself, but I always make sure that he shares with Logan. So I hand him a bowl and he usually goes and takes it to him. He tries to give it to him, like hand it to him, but Logan sometimes is not paying attention, so he'll keep trying. But eventually Logan sees it and is like, oh, okay. Then he grabs his bowl of popcorn and the bag, like he likes to have both the bowl and a bag. And he goes back onto the couch, watches some more YouTube, and he's pretty happy. Robbie doesn't like him to get too stuck on the iPad for too long, so he did pull out a little activity workbook, and he was doing it with him right up until I pulled out the camera. And that's okay, because OT was actually on their way over, and Gavin loves his OT therapist. He's always loved OT therapy with any of them, like that's always been his favorite. I did tell her about the rough morning that Gavin was having today, so she did end up having to have a lot of tickle breaks, which he loves, so that's why you see her constantly doing little tickles in between her working with him. And Logan is also a big fan of Gavin's OT therapist, so I had to have him set up with some shaving cream and some glitter, and he came into the room when Gavin was working and was just trying to touch all their stuff. So I had to chase him out of the room, and then he was chasing after me, chasing after Robbie, and pretty much just making a mess. But he was having fun, so we just let him, and it was just cute to see him playing with us like that. And back to Gavin doing his OT therapy. I'm gonna go ahead and let her explain what she's doing here, because I get a little confused sometimes and how to word it, so you guys can hear exactly what she's saying here.
I'm pushing and giving a little bit of pressure for proprioceptive input, and it helps with calming.
Okay.
Right?
Which you love.
Which you love. You love input in your feet, right, Gavin? The tipping that I showed you last week, that's for the vestibular input, which is for focused attention and calming.
Okay.
Look how excited you are. Now lay down on me. Ready? Ready? Head back. Head back. Tickle, 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 tickle. So that will calm him. So enough. Ready? Go back. Head back. Tickle, 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 tickles. Yes. Ready? set, head back. Put your head back. One more time. Head back. Good job. So that's going to help start his processing. Good job, Gavin. Yay, you show mom. Good job.
So much happier.
But that will definitely help calm him. Good job, buddy, right?
And then after OT left, he was just lounging on the couch with Robbie. As you can see, Robbie's being a little funny there. And then it was bedtime. He was so tired today, I think from just having the rough morning that he had and just everything like with school and then therapy, and Gavin just goes that by the end of the day he was tuckered out. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when he starts ABA again. If we started, we're still up in the air about that, and speech, but today was a pretty much good day overall. And that's the end of Gavin's day today. Thanks so much for watching. Leave me comments, let me know if you guys liked it, and we'll see you at the next one. Ciao.